Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 24th, 2017 meeting of the Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh?
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends newspaper, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
Amen. Okay, if the clerk could please do the roll call.
Mr. Hurd?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mr. Phelan?
Here.
Ms. Winterfield? Here. Mayor Florence Lynch?
Here.
We have
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. All right, first item on the agenda is presentations. I have two tonight, so I am going to start with the human trafficking awareness. So I'd like to ask the council to come up as well, since this is from all of us. And I'm going to ask those community groups that are involved in this initiative, the human trafficking, to come up, please. We have Doug Cook. Doug is representing Community Partners for Hope. We have a lot of the ladies here from the Suburban Women's Club, who also, this is a big initiative that they do each year as well on human trafficking. I'm going to have, and what other groups are represented here as far as churches? I'm sorry. Churches. We're members of the community. You're all part of the
members of Community Apartments of Hope.
Okay.
Come on in, guys.
So
Be careful. Be careful.
And I know many of you have heard about this initiative over the years, and people think human trafficking, that can't happen in my town. Well, it's all over, and it can happen right here in this community. And I'm going to have you speak a little bit to that. But human trafficking is a real issue. Right here in the United States, 300,000 Americans under 18 are lured into the commercial sex trade every year. Children everywhere, even in our community, are potential victims. So we think that this is a very important issue. We thank you for all your efforts. I know you have some big programs coming up, which I'd like you to talk to before we present you with a proclamation.
We have two programs coming up. The first is being put on by the Suburban Women's Club, which is a member of the Community Partners of Hope. And we're bringing in a woman who was forced into the sex trafficking trade at a very early age. She worked her way out of it, and she is now doing counseling and programs. So Beth Jacobs will be here November 14th. In addition to her, we have a representative coming from the Truckers Against Trafficking. Believe it or not, that's an organization that puts on programs and trains all of the truckers about what to look for to identify something that's going on as far as trafficking is concerned. And then next April, WIM, which is the Women's Hands in Motion, another member of the Community Partners. I'm sorry, I do that. I say that, my wife hits me when I say that. They are Women's Hands in Motion. Boy, Bonnie would kill me. Okay? And what we're doing there is we're going to take excerpts from the film I Am Jane Doe. And we're going to present that to the town. Because if you want to know what human trafficking does to a family and what it's all about, watch that film. It's about 98 minutes long. It's a story of four mothers, their daughters disappeared. They found them on a web page being sold. It's called Backpage. And you can buy them online. As a matter of fact, about a month ago over here in Wayland Park, this cops did a sting operation, and they caught a woman bringing a young girl from Brooklyn over who was forced into sex trafficking, and the man had ordered her on this website, and it's perfectly legal. If you watch that film, you just keep shaking your head. Perfectly. But that's what we're doing. We have 2 programs we're working on.
Well, great. I really appreciate, we all appreciate you guys bringing awareness to this and educating the community, and I think that you can still sign up for that class.
Yes, you can. We appreciate it. It'll be at 7 o'clock across the street at the First Reformed Church.
Okay, great. Anyone else want to say anything, or that kind of covered it?
Just what we're doing with the Pequannock Police Department. Back in about 2015, we got really into it when the governor started to. We got some training, realized we have some issues in our town. We used some out-of-the-box thinking to remove 4 massage parlors from our town back in 2015. We were able to work with some other groups, work with Homeland Security, help us out. Our construction department, our fire official, were able to shut those places down. Those places are the hub, the start of a lot of the human trafficking that goes on. We continue right now with doing online stuff. 95% of all human trafficking and sex trafficking is online right now. We maintain a presence online. We use a special software that links keywords like Pequannock, Pompton Plains with sex trafficking. So we get updates when stuff like Backpage, Craigslist, where these are the hubs of where the people are being sold. So if something comes into our town or Craigslist, we're getting the notification. We also maintain online undercover presence in forums that we have been able to infiltrate and get an idea if there is something going on in our town or coming to our town. And then we're doing a lot of education. I know we're doing education with Community Park for Hope on the 14th. We end up, we're actually doing a lot of departmental education. I literally just drove back from Philadelphia today, where I was at the International Chiefs Association conference, where I got some training on human trafficking from Texas Department of Public Safety and Los Angeles County about how to make our patrol officers more aware of indicators during motor vehicle stops. Simple things like that. And then the other part is the empowerment that we are trying to do when we are ending up with victims of human trafficking. Prior to 2015, when we were doing prostitution cases, we treated every sex worker as a criminal. We've completely changed how we're doing things now. We are now treating them as victims first. And when we did our big sting in 2015, we actually, the first people that the girls spoke to were from the Department of Homeland Security Victim Services, before they spoke with the police. So we determined if they were victims of human trafficking or if they were willingly in it. So we've changed how we're doing things, treating everybody as a criminal anymore with a lot of other programs that we're doing. But we're active.
Is that part of New Bridge's stigma-free program? Is that part of it going along the same way with addiction?
It could be, but I don't know.
Similar, just we're having a change on how we're viewing what a typical criminal is in 2017 on a lot of fronts.
Yeah, a lot of these are interconnected.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate all the community's efforts. With that, I'd like to read a proclamation into the record. Whereas human trafficking is a borderless crime against individuals that violates the most basic human rights and deprives victims of every shred of personal freedom. And whereas human trafficking is modern-day slavery, a practice that is in direct opposition to the fundamental principles of liberty and human rights upon which our nation was founded. And whereas human traffickers target impoverished and marginalized children, women, and men, isolating them from society and supportive networks and exploiting them for personal and monetary gain. And whereas at least 12.3 million adults and children worldwide are currently in forced labor, bonded labor, or forced prostitution. And whereas the victims of human trafficking include hundreds of thousands of Americans under the age of 18 who are lured into a $32 billion industry that is on the rise in every state. And whereas the people of Pequannock Township, regardless of political persuasion, creed, race, or national origin, stand together with the global community to protect the fundamental freedoms and rights of all persons to fight the proliferation of human trafficking in all of its forms and to assist survivors of modern-day slavery. Now therefore, the Township Council of the Township of Pequannock does hereby commend all those who work to end human trafficking through enforcement, education, advocacy, and assistance to survivors, and encourages all residents to educate themselves on the issues of human trafficking, work to put an end to this criminal activity and restore freedom and dignity to all its survivors. So thank you for your efforts. Thank you so much. Anybody wants pictures before you sit down, but here, I made a couple of these. We have, I don't know what different, maybe for the Women's Club and the Police Department. Is that covering everybody?
I'll make copies.
If we need more.
No, we have a meeting tomorrow, so I'll make copies of the church meeting.
Okay, well, thank you for all your efforts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all your efforts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, anybody else want to say anything? Got it covered?
Covered it.
Anybody want to take a picture before we sit down? See if we can all squeeze together? No, that's short.
Nice smile.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Oh, yes, we have one more. Council, stay here. No, you guys are done. You guys are done. Stay with us a few minutes. Doug, I don't know if you wanted to cover to this, but that was the cover to
I have a meeting across the street.
All right. We have one more proclamation to do. If you'd like to say for the second presentation, it would be very nice. It's a good one, so stay. I'm going to ask the representatives for National Bullying Prevention Month to come up. We have representatives from the school district. We have Rich Hazler, who is the president of the PV Middle School. Maybe you want to introduce everybody that you brought today.
This is Dr. Jen McKay, who is our district anti-bullying coordinator. This is Mike Portis, who is principal of Hillview School, and Matt Reiner, who is principal of Gerace. Dr. Celso and Mr. Leffler at school activities tonight. Otherwise, they would be here. But thank you very much for allowing us.
Yeah, no, I was very appreciative to see what the school district has been doing to prevent bullying in our schools and our community. And as some of you may know, October is and was, we're still in October, National Bullying Prevention Month. And I know that the school district in particular, Rich Hazler had reached out to me, has worked very hard with the students in the district in this initiative. The district is committed to bullying prevention, and October was and is recognized as National Bullying Prevention Month by the Stop Out Bullying organization. So each one of the district schools partnered with New York Jets and the Stomp Out Bullying organization in an effort to prevent bullying in our schools and our community. So, and I believe October 2nd was a big initiative day. That was anti-bullying day. And you had everybody wear blue shirts and recognize that day. So, I don't know if I covered it all or if there's some initiatives you'd like to talk about.
As a district, we try and do things with each individual school, but we're very proud of the Stomp Out Bullying Partnership. We're able to promote upstanders every week. So the school district and each school recognizes kids who go above and beyond the call of duty per se, and then they're awarded with tickets to a Jets game with their family. We actually at PV, we had a student who was on the field standing next to the New York Jets at halftime at midfield. We had Bryce Petty come, who was the quarterback at the time, come last year and do an assembly, as well as the CEO of the organization, and they were amazed with what our town does in the school district, in particular in supporting bullying prevention, and they still talk about it. Actually, when the CEO came up to Terry Prashak, who's one of the guidance counselors, and said, I remember coming to Pequannock and what a nice town it is and what a community feel, and so that's a testament to the entire community, and so each individual school takes a lot of time this entire month, bringing in guest speakers. This week happens to be Red Ribbon Week, which is Drug and Alcohol Prevention Week. We have Chris Herron through the Community Partners of Hope, who is a former basketball player, coming to speak at PV. next month. So there's a lot of things that are tied into bullying prevention. And so we're really proud of the kids and proud of the community. So thank you for letting us be here.
Yeah, well, thank you for all your efforts today. Anybody else want to say anything?
Well, just to go off what Rich is saying, it's so important to recognize that it is a community-based initiative, that bullying prevention isn't about reacting to incidents, but really preventing them from happening. And the best way to do that is to promote a culture of civility, really imbuing the kids a sense of citizenship, respect, and really that they honor the rights and liberties of others, but also of themselves. And that's why I'm glad you brought up Red Ribbon Week. We've shared a lot of positive messages with the kids about so many better things to do than drugs. And it really comes down to having that sense of value and virtue within themselves, which is shared with families, it's shared within the school community, and obviously in the greater community at large. So thank you for your partnership there.
Anything that town can do or we can do to help in any of these initiatives, please reach out, because we're all in it together and we all want to help the cause.
We want to thank the Pequannock Police Department too, because they're very active in helping us whenever there's something that happens online or through social media. They're the first ones there to support us. Detective Giacchetti, our school resource officer, does an outstanding job. So we wanted to thank the police department as well. Thank you.
With that being said, I'm going to read a proclamation. Whereas bullying is physical, verbal, sexual, or emotional harm or intimidation intentionally directed at a person or a group of people. And whereas bullying occurs in neighborhoods, playgrounds, schools, and through technologies such as the internet and cell phones. And whereas various researchers have concluded that bullying is the most common form of violence affecting millions of American children and adolescents annually. And whereas thousands of children and adolescents are affected by bullying annually. And whereas targets of bullying are more likely to acquire physical, emotional, and learning problems, and students who are repeatedly bullied often fear such activities as riding the bus, going to school, and attending community activities. And whereas children who bully are at a greater risk of engaging in more serious violent behaviors. And whereas children who witness bullying often feel less secure, more fearful, and intimidated. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Township of Pequannock and its residents, Mayor Melissa Florence Lynch, and members of the Township Council, do hereby encourage schools, students, parents, recreation programs, religious institutions, and community organizations to participate in a variety of bullying awareness and prevention activities throughout October, which is proclaimed as Bullying Prevention Month in the Township of Pequannock. So thank you so much for all your efforts. Just let me know, but I have, I don't know, there's what schools are not represented here? Maybe you could...
We can talk about it.
You know what, the school names are actually up here, I'm sorry. Steve, go through them, I might have given you the wrong one. Look at the top, look at the top. You guys want a picture before? Take a picture.
Squeeze in.
All right, squeeze in. Thank you.
Very nervous, right?
Tell us if you can try that.
Oh, yeah, okay, now, just stay on the side of the podium.
Everybody, suck it in.
Hold up your proclamations. Right way. You're good?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for all your efforts. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Good to see you. Thank you.
Yeah, it is hot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming. You can stay if you like. I would say that.
We're giving out candy.
They were invited. I know. They were invited. Okay.
All righty.
All right, moving right along. Next on the agenda is reports. Oh, I lost my glasses. They're up there. Can I have those so I can see? Can you get to them? This is what happens when you get old. At this time, are there any reports or comments from anyone in our
audience. Louise, come on up. State your name and which committee.
Hi, I'm Louise Marchese, 16 Roland Road, representing Pequannock Flood Advisory Committee. We met on October the 12th, second Tuesday of every month, and it was discussed at that time that the 2015 grant, the homes involved in that grant of groundbreaking hopefully will come in the spring. Also, we discussed at our meeting the 223 homes that potentially may be included in the flood area. We're very, very concerned about that. And I don't have a follow-up, but I know they were going to arrange something with you, Dave. They were trying to have a meeting. Again, I wasn't available that night.
There is a meeting tomorrow night.
Oh, it's tomorrow night. Okay. We're very concerned also about the homeowners who will be getting the grant. They have to come up with the monies ahead of time. It's going to be very, very difficult for people. One of the things that we're suggesting is possibly if we can get one, if not more, of the elevation companies in this state to go along with some kind of financing, even if it's just, a bridge financing, just to get them through that 6-month, 1-year period, because it shouldn't be much longer than that when they do get the actual dollars for the grant. And we also discussed at our last meeting our budget needs. And I don't know if you received it, Melissa, I sent you an email that was all of us putting that together, what we feel our needs are for next year.
So you gave me the number?
I gave you a number and I listed what we, our wish list.
Very good.
So to speak.
Well, I do know there's a meeting tomorrow, and I guess we can just forward the requests from the committees to you directly, Dave, at this point?
Sure.
Yeah, because I don't think there was any official forms this time, because most of them were doing it online, you said, right? So that's fine. We'll forward it.
The other thing I saw, I don't know if anybody saw it on the news tonight, in New York City, they're trying to use flood walls for their tunnels, and it looks great. It sounds like a great concept, but what I'm questioning is where is the water going to go? It's got to go, it may not go in the tunnel, but somewhere.
So
We'll let them experiment. Thank you.
tomorrow night is a flood advisory board meeting?
It's not it's not the regular meeting, I don't think. I think there's a couple of people meeting you, right?
I set this up with
Ken Hardy.
Okay.
He asked if I could kind of come to a meeting and address some of their concerns.
So being that that's a special meeting, don't we have to publish that, or no? If the flood committee is having a special meeting tomorrow night, do they have to?
We do not, because they're an advisory committee,
Okay.
so
I
they're
just
not
wanna make
covered
sure.
by the Open Public Meetings
Okay.
Act.
I
But
just
yeah,
wanna-
thank you for thinking of that, because with other committees, that would be an issue.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Because I think many of them plan on coming.
Yeah.
So. Did that answer your question, Dave?
Yes.
All right, anyone else in the public would like to come up to report on any committees? No? Okay. Moving right along. Next on the agenda is public hearings. So I'm going to ask Ms. Marsh to read public hearing on ordinance 2017-15.
Ordinance number 2017-15 is an ordinance amending Chapter 129 of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Pequannock entitled Parks and Recreation.
And I will go back to public
I thought we missed something.
comment after we're done with this. I apologize. I skipped over public comment. Can we just finish this and then go back?
Sure.
Okay, if that's okay. I apologize. Are there any comments from the council?
No, we talked about this in great detail.
All right, if there's no comments, can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open it through a public hearing.
Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, if anyone in the audience has questions or comments on this ordinance, please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Anyone? No? What are you laughing at, Frank, back there?
I'll make a motion to close the public
Hurry
hearing.
up, quick. Very good. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
I'll make that motion to adopt ordinance number 2017-15.
And I'll second it.
All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Phelan?
Yes.
Ms. Winterfield?
Yes.
Mayor Florence Lynch?
Yes. All right, I'm going to go back one on the agenda. Public comment. I apologize, I skipped over it. Mike, would you like to come to the podium and say your name and address for the record?
I think she planned that, Mike.
Yes, I did.
Mike Ratuna, 8 Reynolds Road. After 2 weeks ago, after the meeting, you guys were discussing about returning the garbage cans to the parks, yes or no, and it seemed like you were leaning not to do it. So I went on Facebook and I put in a survey asking residents to comment if they'd like to see the cans back in the park or not. And after 2 weeks, the numbers were 460 people would like to see them returned, and 10 said they wouldn't. So I just thought I know it's unscientific, but just to get an idea of what some of the residents in our town feel.
What was the comments? Were they able to put comments around this as well?
There were, and I'd be happy to forward this to you guys, but a lot of it was like, please put them back. And there's always some not so nice things, but
it was basically a yes or no survey.
Yeah, well, I could exactly. As of tonight at the town council meeting, they discussed continuing the carry-in, carry-out policy at the parks, which would mean no more garbage cans in the parks or ball fields. I know I'd rather have them back. I was hoping to take an informal poll that I could take to the council with what the residents would prefer. Please vote your opinion, but I'm not looking for negative rants here. Thank you. And then I also said, I appreciate all your input, but if we could keep voting to residents only. And by the time I left the house, it was 460 to 10.
Well, we appreciate you taking that, and I see someone in the back. Stacy would like to make a comment on it, so I'm going to have her come up next.
Yeah,
but the one thing I was just going to comment, unfortunately, when you do those surveys, you're saying like yes or no, so you don't have the opportunity to tell them, well, during food sales, the garbage cans will be there, or during, and they don't, there's a lot of things that go behind it, too. But thank you for your efforts.
Yep, no problem. Just wanted to...
Stacy, come on up and state your name and address for the record.
Stacy Ann Webb, 289 Boulevard, Pompton Plains, New Jersey. Just a note on Mike's note. I am on Facebook all the time. I never saw that survey. So I don't know.
Are you friends with Mike?
Maybe not.
Put it on the township one? Or the community one? I never saw it. Never saw it.
Was it on one or both? Our Pequannock and the other one, or?
No, just the one that...
Colleen. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm on that one a lot.
Well, you can put it out again if you want.
It's still there, I didn't take it down, so it's still...
Okay.
So you can put your vote in.
You can put your vote in.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Closing, I hear.
Put your vote in.
No, I can keep running.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the comment would like to come up? Yes, Lou.
Lou A. Bear, 11 Copley Court, Pompton Plains. I would like to remind council that Veterans Day is coming, and all the veterans in town will be doing another ceremony at the middle school, as we've been doing for the last few years. This year, it'll be on November 13th, which is a Monday. 11th falls on a Saturday, so it's kind of a problem. And the week before, all the teachers are at conference, so we couldn't do it before 11. But we will be doing it on Monday, November the 13th.
What time?
11 o'clock.
Where?
At the middle school. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Hi, Laura Levine, and 364 Turnpike in Pompton Plains. I actually was just here just to see what it is like at a town council meeting. I've never been here before. And as I'm sitting here, I'm just compelled to say something, and I wasn't planning to. But my husband, Matt Levine, is sitting behind us, and I just wanted you guys to see us. I'm Matt. I'm Laura. This is Matt. This is my husband, and he's the one who's currently on paid suspension for going on 5 months, or 4 months, but he's been suspended for 5 months. And I just wanted you guys to meet us and see us, and we're good people. We have 2 kids. I have a 6-month-old and a 3-year-old. He just turned 3. And I just urge you, if you have any say, I don't really know, there's a lot of things being said, you don't really have a say, but you do have a say. I just urge you guys to just, take it in, and hope if you have a say and you can do anything, to just think of us and keep us in your thoughts, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? No? Okay. Moving right along, we're going to go into
The second ordinance.
the second ordinance, as long as I can see. All right, so we have a second ordinance for public hearing. Ms. Marsh?
Ordinance number 2017-16 is an ordinance authorizing the execution of a contract for the purchase of Block 3711, Lot 6 from Deutsche Bank.
All right, do we have any comments from the council on this ordinance?
No, we talked about this one, too.
We did. Is there a motion to open up the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open up ordinance, public hearing for ordinance 2017-16.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, if anyone in the audience has any comments or questions on this ordinance, please come to the microphone and identify yourself. And I see Frank Spizzeri walking up.
Frank Spizzeri, 35 West Franklin Avenue, and Vice Chair for the Open Space. I just want to say thank you for putting this on and getting this property for us. It was a thorn in my side, but anyway, I'm glad this is going to happen. Now, will this make it official now with this? And we're okay?
Close it.
Yeah, you gotta close.
Great, thank you very much.
Frank, question. Did you get your shirt?
No, I don't know.
Are you still looking for a shirt?
I'm still looking for it.
Okay. What are we up to?
I'll make an
Is there-
ordinance, I'll
Please
make a motion to close it.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to adopt this ordinance, please?
I'll make a motion to adopt 2017-16.
Can I have a second?
second it.
And a roll call, please.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Phelan?
Yep.
Ms. Winterfield?
Yes.
Mayor Florence Lynch?
Yes. Thank you. Sorry, I screwed up that agenda. Next on the agenda would be ordinances for introduction. We do not have any this evening, so we're going to move right on to resolutions for approval. And I'm going to ask Ms. Marsh to read each resolution by number and title, please.
Beginning with Resolution R 2017-185, authorizing tax office refunds, overpayments, or cancellations. 2017-186, confirming the designated membership in the Pequannock Township Fire Department. That is for Caitlin Murphy and Jake Del Corpo. 2017-187, approving submission of a 2018 New Jersey Department of Transportation Municipal Aid Grant application and authorizing execution of a grant contract for the Hillview Road project. 2017-188, approving change order number